Inflation's putting everyone in a bind.
And then the high cost of energy and any and everything else you want to do in life is taking a tremendous toll.
Coloradans are about to get a boost to offset some of those costs.
Beginning today, checks are going to be printed and mailed out to people in a rolling way.
A deadly shooting and crash, all caught on camera.
He started shooting at that black Subaru, kind of to have him get out the way.
Tonight, one person is dead and a suspect still on the loose. What you need to know.
Plus, the future of home building has come to Denver, and it promises to make your house more energy efficient.
Bring down the carbon footprint of the concrete itself, but also has a significant energy savings.
Well, thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 6 tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
I'm Ann Trujillo. Inflation's impacting everyone, no matter your income level. We are all feeling the impact on our budgets.
Well, tonight, a 360 in-depth look at inflation, how much it's impacting us, and the relief that will soon be coming your way.
First, let's look at the data to see how many Americans are being impacted. A new reporting from Lending Club finds as of June, 61% of Americans lived paycheck to paycheck. That amounts to 157 million adults, and that is up from 58% in May, 55% from a year ago.
Now, there is some help coming for your budget. Denver 7's Megan Lopez begins our in-depth coverage with a look at the refund checks hitting the mail.
Starting today, the state is printing checks to send to taxpayers as part of the Colorado Cashback Program. There's a lot of political posturing about these checks, with Democrats taking credit for them and Republicans saying that they shouldn't get the credit. But regardless of all of that political noise, the checks are coming. So here's what you need to know. First up, how much you should expect to see. Now, individuals can expect to see about $750 showing up in their mailboxes. Joint filers will see checks for $1,500. But you had to have filed your taxes by June 30th.
There's going to be about 250,000 checks printed and mailed out a day. And so that's a lot of checks, but when you think about the number of checks that are going to go out, it's going to take us several weeks in order to get all those checks out.
So where's that money coming from? The Taxpayer Bill of Rights, otherwise known as TABOR. Basically, when the state collects more money than its cap, it has to return that money to taxpayers. Normally that happens around February or March of the following year.
The state's constitution holds that if revenue grows by an amount greater than last year's amount plus population and inflation, that the state has an obligation to return the excess to the taxpayers.
We're doing it earlier, and it's a little different value. Those people that are in most need, I believe, are getting the best benefit out of this.
It's coming earlier because state legislators passed a law this year moving that timeline up. They say to help families fight inflation, but will also point out that it is an election year. Now, here's the other thing to know. That new law made it so that everyone gets the same amount.
In the past, when the refunds have come to individuals, they've been on a percentage basis. So if you earn more, you got a higher share.
So because of the new law, people making $265,000 or more are getting about $1,000 less in returns, even though they paid more in taxes. People making up to $47,000, meanwhile, are getting about $211 more per person.
Is this going to come in the form of a direct deposit, or is it going to come in the form of a check? And for security purposes, we are mailing just checks, no direct deposit.
TABOR refunds will also be given back in two other ways this year: a property tax exemption for seniors and veterans, and a temporary income tax reduction. So start checking your mailboxes over the next few weeks to see those checks coming in. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And here's a different take on those TABOR refund checks. Republicans say while getting money into the hands of Coloradans is great, it's the result of Democrats wanting to capitalize on this election year.
Last year alone, there were fees on air, there were fees on plastics, there were fees on transportation. And now all of a sudden, because politically it's getting a little bit hot, they want to give money back. The reality is it's almost laughable. It's so politically transparent.
Republicans say they would rather see people keep more money along the way.
The city of Denver is trying to encourage people to shop and dine locally to help the city rebound amid these tough economic times. The city is giving grants to small businesses from the American Rescue Plan, and they are available for community groups, nonprofits, and businesses still recovering from the pandemic. The grants would be used for things like events and exhibits and landscaping to attract more foot traffic. Money could be distributed as early as next month if the city approves the plan.
And the impact of inflation goes well beyond individuals. food banks are really struggling to serve families because of an increase in demand and an increase in price. Now, right now, Food Bank of the Rockies says it's spending about 60% more than normal on fuel and food. Last month, they spent a record $1.7 million on food and freight to get this valuable food to Coloradans. The food bank says 1 in 8 Coloradans now is experiencing hunger.
For the first time ever, we're seeing person after person who has never in their life needed food assistance before now. It's since the onset of COVID, that's roughly about 40% of the people we are serving have never needed food assistance before now.
And there's a way to help if you have the means. Denver 7 is partnering with Food Bank of the Rockies for 7 days to help end hunger. Denver 7 Gives will match the first $10,000 donated, and you can donate at thedenverchannel.com.
And we want to hear your opinion on how inflation is impacting your family. Have you made any changes to try and save more money? Are you spending more on back to school items? You can share your comments under the Denver 7 360 Your Opinion tab on thedenverchannel.com.
Well, a tragic accident in Denver today. An 11-year-old girl with autism drowned in Rocky Mountain Lake in Denver's Berkeley neighborhood. Denver police sent out an alert about 5:30 this morning about this missing girl, and then 2 hours later, an update that a body was found in that lake believed to be that of the missing girl. No foul play is suspected. Well, law enforcement in Nebraska have identified 2 Colorado men as victims of a small plane crash Monday morning. 80-year-old James Holland from Fort Collins and 58-year-old Daniel Zahner from Boulder died in a crash in a rural part of central Nebraska. Zahner was a technology teacher in the Boulder Valley School District. Local authorities say they were flying to Iowa from Greeley. They say rainy weather and low visibility played a part in this crash.
Tonight, Denver police are searching for the driver caught on camera shooting at another car on I-70 last night before being involved in a crash. 31-year-old Kevin Piaskowski was killed in that shooting on westbound I-70 near Quebec last night. And this video was posted to Reddit. And Kevin's driving in the mid-size SUV in the middle lane when the silver pickup truck starts shooting and swerving into his lane, causing the silver pickup to then crash. Well, today we spoke to the man whose dash cam caught this video.
I just kind of realized there's flashes happening out the window. I was like, oh crap, that's gunshots. The way that guy decided to randomly shoot at that guy, it didn't look super targeted.
Denver police have not labeled this shooting as road rage just yet. They still haven't seen a connection between the suspect and the victim. They say the silver pickup was stolen. So if you know anything about this, please call police.
Elections officials were busy across the state all weekend conducting a recount of 2 primary races. And we stopped by the Denver elections office today to see how things were going. They say they have 127,000 ballots to get through by Thursday. They had to recalibrate machines, make sure there were no discrepancies, and the county clerk says that passed without any problems. Now, Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters sent a press release today demanding a hand recount. She lost the Republican primary for Secretary of State to Pam Anderson. Well, current Secretary of State Jenna Griswold says per state law, the recount must be conducted in the same manner that votes were originally tallied.
We know Habitat for Humanity does a lot for the community, but a different way of building also has them helping the environment as well. Here is Denver 7's Jason Grenauer.
Habitat for Humanity's mission statement is about building homes, communities, and hope. It doesn't say anything about what they build with.
And these 2 homes are the first that will have this kind of material.
Though this Habitat home in Denver's Curtis Park neighborhood might look like it's pretty far along in construction, until today, this was mostly just styrofoam.
Stacked like foam Lego blocks. They're hollow on the inside.
Until today.
Each form is a styrofoam block that is filled with concrete to form the walls and foundation of the home.
Today was concrete day. This construction method using insulated concrete forms, or ICFs.
It's cost effective, it's efficient, it's easy to do.
And it's also much better for the environment.
Bring down the carbon footprint of the concrete itself, but also has a significant energy savings.
Sunlight and cold in the winter have a hard time penetrating through that concrete to get into the home. So that means these homeowners are going to have a lower energy cost because it'll cost less to heat and cool their home in the summer and winter.
The building process might be new for Denver Metro Habitat, but just like other Habitat homes, these will eventually be offered for sale to community members at an affordable rate. In Denver, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver 7.
And this project is part of a wider initiative between Build with Strength and Habitat for Humanity International to construct 50 sustainable concrete homes in 50 states in 5 years.
It's Colorado's birthday, 146 years old today. And History Colorado threw a big birthday party to celebrate. And visitors had the chance to take some photos with our sports team's mascots. And we chatted with Angel Veal at the center, and he explains why it's so important to know our history.
Like William Faulkner said, the past is not dead, in fact, it's not even past. I view history as a wheel that continually turns, and we're living our present time now. We don't know about the future, we know about the present, but we can learn about the wisdom from the past so that we don't make the same mistakes they made in the past over again, and we can learn about the things that happened the right way.
Colorado became a state 100 years after America gained independence.
Parking is precious on the Front Range.
The garages are small, as you can see.
That's why these residents are raising the red flag against their HOA.
I think if you put it to a vote, there would probably be a majority of people that said we shouldn't be charging a fee.
Temperatures really heating up over the next 10 days here across Colorado and across the rest of the country. I'll let you know how hot it's going to get.
Plus, the Broncos getting ready to have their first practice in full pads. We're going to take you to UC Health Training Facility with our latest update on training camp.